Summarize or expand upon your vision of the future of energy for our community. Include fiscal, environmental, and capacity issues we face.
From a fiscal standpoint, pausing at this point, based on numbers that I've heard and read, the Board of Light and Power will accumulate roughly $300,000 a month based on the difference in the rate structure and what they're paying for power from the grid. So if we're accumulating $300,000 a month, could we not take care of remediation of Harbor Island in cash proceeds as we go? I think we could. The second thing would be back to my industry contacts saying, could we reduce demand with active programs like more efficient appliances, continuing the net metering where if we install solar, then BLP will buy it back. And so I'm a candidate for that. We did it, and my bill last month was a $27 credit. So let's have more of that. Well, that wasn't revenue to BLP, but never mind. From an environmental standpoint, given the current discussions between Eagle and US EPA and the continuing discovery of new contaminants on Harbor Island, until those discussions are concluded and the remediation costs known, I don't think we have any business building something or bonding to build. From a capacity standpoint, I don't think the BLP has explored the possibility of going back to MMPA as an example and saying, if we're going to lose capacity from the grid, why don't we partner with the other MMPA guys and build one together?
Thank you. Dale?
As far as the BLP goes, I don't want it to go away. Oh, want to hear me better?
Yeah.
Is that better? Okay, I think the BLP needs to stay. I love the service that we get, this personal service. It's a hometown grown entity, to relate to them, to deal with them. And my experience has been good all the way through, right from the line crews to the guys that are trimming trees, to when I have a question and I have to deal with the office itself. So I believe that the Board of Light and Power needs to stay. I think for right now that pause is great. I do believe that we do have to take care of our Harbor Island, and I do believe that's a great big huge piece that we have to do with City Hall. Like I said, I don't think it started with the BLP. There is technology out there, and they're right here in Western Michigan. They dig a ditch, they put some, I'll say clay for lack of the right term, and they basically build a great big dam around it. It's encapsulated, it's gone. Or at least it stays there, and we don't have to deal with it. So I think there's other alternatives. I do know that we're looking at some wells, and I believe that that has to be stepped up, and I'd like to see solutions that are coming. I also believe that there's federal funds that can be taken advantage of, and I'd like to see a lot of help, because I don't believe that the City of Grand Haven nor the Board of Light and Power can pay for what the damage is that's done on that island. I think there's a great deal of cost there. Let's see. So for capacity, like I said, our capacity is low at the city. It's gone down over the last 10 years, and I don't believe that it's going to be going up fast.
Thank you. Michael?
Nope. I'm going to mix up your order here a little bit, fiscal, environmental, and capacity, but environmental first. I think that is, if we're looking at the future of energy in Grand Haven, looking at the pollution on the island and what the most important things are. Restoring that island to as close to we could get as natural is an important and critical item. You know, if we're looking to the future, there's a legacy of issues up there. It's something that I think is we're looking, we're visionary and looking to try to be progressive and look into the future. A clean island that we can all use would be ideal. As far as fiscal responsibility, I believe that that's an obligation of the VLP. We have to make decisions for energy that give us affordable energy. You know, again, the good news about renewables is that renewables are decreasing in cost, but for capacity, things like battery storage, there's cool technology coming out. Really cool things looking for the future. Different generation types.
Thank you. Jerry?
Would you do me a favor and review that question, because I have lost track of it along the way.
Summarize or expand upon your vision of the future of energy for our community. Include fiscal, environmental, and capacity issues we face.
Well, I don't think anybody thinks that their energy use is going to go down realistically, especially if everybody's looking to, or the government may mandate that you buy an electric car or use an electric car. I was at a meeting at SHAPE a few years back, and that was what they were talking about. Within 10 years, and that was probably about 3-4 years ago, that in 10 years everybody's going to be driving electric cars. And I'm going, seriously? I said, well, that was my question, are you serious? And they weren't. And I'm thinking, well, who's going to do that? Because I'm not going to be able to afford an electric car, not at the rates the electric cars are. If everybody buys an electric car, where are they going to charge their electric car? Because I don't know if there's too many electric car charging stations around, or if they're going to put one at several at every gas station. And how long does it take to charge your car? So I'm not sure that that's a realistic goal. But in any event, I think our power usage is going to go up and not down. As I don't think it's ever gone down. Even if you conserve, it doesn't go down. My electric bill hasn't ever gone down. I think it's probably about double what it was when I first moved here. It's not because the electric is more expensive. It's just that I have a whole lot more electric stuff in my house. So our capacity needs to increase with need, not decrease. To say it's going to decrease is being unrealistic. And because let's face it, this is not, electricity is not something that we're going to move away from. It's going to be something that we need more of. To be fiscally responsible is the most important thing, and I think that the way to have most fiscal responsibility is to have more sources of where your electricity is going to come from, not less. Because if you monopolize something, the price goes up. If you disperse it, if there's more places to draw your power from, the price is going to go down because there's competition. When you lose competition, your price is going to go up. So I think it's the more diverse we are, the more opportunities there are, the better the possibilities of a good price are for the fiscal responsibility part.
Thank you.
Didn't get to environmental. So.
Andrea.
I think we need to start by panning out. I think this whole conversation about what's going on in the Board of Light and Power has been happening in a silo, and that pan out gives us the opportunity to really have a good conversation about getting a comprehensive inventory of our city infrastructures, because the environmental aspects and the economic aspects of infrastructure, including energy, have to start with a comprehensive inventory that includes a community sustainability plan where we get all of the stakeholders at the table. And that means that we need to have conversations with the medical community, our residents, our commercial and industrial customers, our emergency services, our city, the other city departments, and say, where is our city and what do we want to be when we grow up? And I don't think we've had that conversation in a really long time. So it's really hard to make decisions for the future and the vision for the Board of Light and Power, when the Board of Light and Power is so integrally and wrapped up in the rest of our city. So that's kind of step one. That's what needs to happen. And then when we do that inventory, we need to really look at not just the money side of things, but we need to look at some indicators that are a sustainable return on investment, including the non-cash factors like public health, social impact, and environmental services. We need to pay attention to ecosystem services. We're in this problem because we assume that man can control nature. Guess what? Nature is always going to win. And if we pay attention to what nature does, cleaning water, cleaning air, this is what a tree does. A tree is a really cheap way to get clean air. And we should pay attention to that because clean water and air is a commodity that here in Michigan we take advantage of. And we need to be looking at that. As far as the environmental part, I've already kind of keyed into it, but the financial part of this does not have to be our own burden. We need to look at the federal, state, and county funds that are available as well as private investors.
Thank you very much.